Hello, my friends. If you don't know me, I'm Sarah, but you probably do. I, if you haven't been about on the podcast around the podcast in a while, last year in 2025, I did an entire year about trust. And I talked to lots of people about what they thought about trust. And today we are dipping back into that because of my friend Nadine. I am delighted to bring you my friend Nadine Elsasser. Elsasser, right? I did it right.
Yeah, you
Okay,
did.
I did. Who lives across the pond from us, as it were. But and guys, I don't read bios generally. However, the beginning of her bio is like my favorite thing. So it says Nadine spent 30 plus years in the buttoned up boardrooms of New York and London, and just as many years quietly moonlighting in the world of intuition and deep inner work. Yes, it's this like two paths. So those two lives stopped being separate, and she has this aligned resonance method that she teaches for people who have done all the things and are like, okay, but how do I do all of this for myself? She's also writing. So my writer friends, if you don't know Nadine, she's for you. She's for you, period. And you know that here's the thing that I tell you on every podcast. This is another human being. So if you're like, hey, I would really like to know that human being, go to the interwebs and reach out and be like, hi, Nadine, I heard you on Sarah's podcast. Can we be friends? And that would be fine. Nadine, hi.
Hi, Sarah.
How are you?
I'm really well. I'm
I
so happy to be here. I'm
I
so
know.
excited.
I am too. You guys know I invite on the people I love the best. So what we always start these trust episodes with is um, how you define trust. So for you, what does it mean? What does trust mean? What does trust in
Oh,
yourself mean? What does trust in your work mean?
yeah, all the squirrely questions.
Welcome. Welcome to Squirrel Land.
Welcome to Squirrely Land and welcome to the area that I talk to people about also, which is um, and as you said in my bio, I work with women who have done all the work. They've done the therapy, they've done read the books, all the self-development, and they're standing there going, "What do I fix next?" Because it comes back to trust. And self-trust is the first thing to go as children because of well-meaning people around us
Mm,
who convince us, and that ties into your intuition, that convince us that there's nothing going on when in fact we can already sense that there's stuff going on. So self trust is the first thing to go.
yep.
And it's the hardest thing to get back on the other side of a healing journey.
Mm,
It's the thing where you're still second guessing yourself. So trust for me is a journey. And then once, for me, now that I'm on the other side of a healing journey, trust becomes a deepening. It's not a
mm,
one and done. It's not a sliding scale. It can be a sliding scale. Like, do I trust myself to pay the bills on time? 10 out of 10. Do I
yep.
trust myself to listen to my intuition and not book that trip? Not always. Um, and so trust me is a relationship.
Mm. This
Trust
idea
me,
that it's two parts, right? It's you and trust, right?
yeah,
That sometimes you're closer than others.
yeah. Sometimes you could, and even in the same thing, like, do I trust myself not to book that trip for some reason? No, I don't book it. I immediately trust myself. But on
Mm,
another day, I might not be so strong. So it's recognizing that trust is this constant flow and a deepening and a relationship. And I have the same relationship with fear, but that's a different conversation. But it is recognizing that it's something that you develop and that you're always evolving with
mm.
yourself. And the more that you have that relationship, the more you start to notice what your engagement is with yourself.
Yeah. Well, and I think what you're talking about is the sort of the combination that is awareness and practice, right? It's awareness that the relationship is different all the time and practicing like what would it look like? What decision would I make if I trusted myself here?
Yeah.
right? How would the thing I ask all the time for myself is, if I trusted this in myself here, what would I be doing? And most of the time, I would not be doing anything. I would not be even thinking about it. I would be doing 10 other things because I would just be letting it do what it's supposed to do. And then it's like, oh, crap.
It is it's one of those feelings where you go, yeah, but oh, okay.
Exactly. And you're like, dough
Like,
again, again.
no, again, which is why it's a deepening,
Hmm.
why it's a relationship. You say practice, I think it's more a way of being.
Hmm.
Because once we start to, and I have for myself, once I've deepened into this place of self-trust and then relaxed and surrendered into it, it's like breathing into it. It
Hmm.
becomes a way of being
Hmm.
rather than something that you have to practice. But initially, it's the awareness, the noticing, the recognition. And for me in my work as a spiritual coach, as a transformational coach, it's I have to trust. And that ties into the intuition because I'm speaking into a field with another person. And
Yeah.
in that field, there's going to be information that comes up. For me to just be able to get out of my head and allow what's coming up to be spoken and trust that as being, well, that's the thing that needs to be said.
I was just going to say, like, I think in coaching, it took me time to know that whatever the thing I was feeling compelled to say was something I could trust to this other person, to know and to trust that when I'm not sure what to say, there's a reason. And when I have a question, when I'm not sure what the question's going to be, to give it a second and let it come,
Mhm.
right? To let that just kind of work through
Yeah.
rather than having to manage the process, right? That's such an interesting part of work. So, what has learning to trust that part of work for you looked like?
Oh, what's it looked like? I think well, not think. So I know it's about recognizing what are my gifts,
Mm,
what are my strengths. And so that does come, do I trust myself? Do I value what I do? And when I get out of the way, if I stop intellectualizing everything, then I can trust whatever comes up. I'm also can then be detached from what
hmm.
comes up. I'm not invested in getting it right with the client.
Hmm.
I'm invested in giving them what's present, and they'll be able to just then go, no, that's not for me. That
Hmm.
doesn't resonate. But
Hmm.
you know what does?
Hmm.
And so that journey of trusting, it's about to trust myself, to get out of the way of second guessing, or trying to even understand where it comes from.
Well, and I think what's really interesting for the people in my world here, particularly in all of that, is this idea that you have this inherent set of strengths, and knowing they exist and allowing them to do the work for you rather than muscling them and like making them work for you is a practice of trust, but also of ease. And everything works better when you do that, right? Like I've been running a bingo challenge this week. It's been going really well. It's been super fun. And I was talking to my husband about it the other day because it literally is not any kind of work for me. Like it's just not work to do stuff like that. It doesn't take hardly any thought. It feels like cheating. And also, it's the most important stuff I do.
Yeah, because it's play. I mean,
Yeah.
I always associate you with playing, where it's let's make this fun rather
Yeah.
than it making it difficult. So that makes perfect sense.
But it's wild when it's like I just have had to work at allowing that to be, right? And to trust that it's useful.
It's useful, it's enough, it's what came up. It's
Hmm.
the trusting that this idea dropped in for a reason.
Yes.
So follow it, do the idea, do whatever the action is. If it drops in for a reason.
Yep. And I think that's so hard for people because we've been so conditioned. Like I have one in the challenge right now, and she said, well, right, but how do I make sure that's useful to people? And I was like, you already know the answer to that, right?
If you're,
Like,
yeah, there's almost even a simplification of that, which in my metaphysical studies comes across as the if it's in service, it will
mm,
be useful.
yes.
You don't
Yes.
have to understand, it doesn't have to be quantifiable. And that's the problem with the current infrastructures, which is we're constantly going, well, we have to be able to measure what are the metrics? How do we know it's useful?
Right.
Um, Something that somebody can record 10 years ago or a book that was written 20 years ago was written in service, and
Mm,
somebody else is picking it up 20 years later going, this is everything I needed to read today.
yep.
And
Well,
it's the
and it
same
is
with our
that,
work.
is it, is it in service? Is it like my job is to trust that it's going to be useful to at least one person and that's enough,
Yeah.
right? And that is something people get so wrapped around, I think. In work, it's like, how do I know? Well, you get to decide that. And you know when you have something useful.
Yeah, you also, the moment you start to have just a quiet moment of doubt, I like to reframe doubt as being humility.
Mm,
So the moment you have that little moment of doubt, it's like that humility that says, oh, I'm not quite sure, then you know you've hit on it. The minute you think it's the best thing ever, since like you can have that as well, going, oh, you and I have talked a little bit, like I'm the shit. Like
yes, where
quoting
you're
Tom
like, this
Cruise,
is really good.
this
Like,
is
this is
really good. But
good.
there is also a little part of you that's going, oh, but I probably shouldn't say that. So you can have that. But the
Yeah.
moment you are doing everything from a place of you're ticking all the boxes, it's become performative.
Yep.
And therefore, it's probably lost the essence of its usefulness.
Well, and I think there's kind of magic in what you just said about when you're like, should I share that? The answer is yes, right?
Mm,
Like those have been the most compelling things I've written, the best challenges I've run, the most interesting things when it's like, oh, that would be super fun, but I don't know. Like that for me is like a sign of time to move forward, which is the worst because you're like, shit, now I have to do it. Like that's terrible. But when
oh, that's
people
been
are,
my whole last week.
oh no. Oh yes, and oh no.
Oh no, and oh yeah, exactly. It's like, really, really, I'm writing? Really? You want me to get a Substack? Oh, come on.
See, and I'm a no. That's a but there's a difference between so here's the thing. I was talking to a friend about this recently who is a writer, and she's like, but you would be great on there. And there is a difference between resistance that is fear and it's not for me.
Oh, absolutely. And if you
And
know the difference, it's a blessing.
yes, and for me, for that, that's a not for me. Like like a negative number desire to do that. Like it's a like I cannot think of anything I would like to do less. I can think of things I would like to do less, and
But
they're
you can.
all like brain surgery kinds of things. Like shit I have no business doing, right? So like I but it's not because I couldn't do it. It's because I like really truly don't want to.
No, and I think and here's the thing too. I think about American politics from years ago with the old flip-flopping and everybody's, oh, you're not allowed to do that. When in fact, that's exactly what you should be doing.
All the
Because
time.
it's all the time, because it may not be for now, but it's
Yeah.
not necessarily for or not for always.
Yep. Well, who
So,
knew? Did you know you'd be a business owner?
well, I did try about 14 years ago and then ended up back in the buttoned up world of corporate finance.
Well, but it's one of those like I always say to people, they'll be like, "Oh, well, you know where you were going." Like
No.
you're so cute. Like that's such a lovely idea. I didn't have the foggiest idea, and here I am. It happens to work out, but like that's trusting the doors that open.
Exactly. And I mean, I think a lot of people, I think we get tied into then, and Liz Gilbert speaks beautifully to
Yeah.
this, which is around the, she used to think everybody knew their passion, everybody knew exactly what they were going to be when they were 5 years old. And for many people, it's like, I had no idea. I
Hmm.
mean, for me, the closest thing I can come to is saying, yeah, I thought I was going to be a fairy and magical, which is really
Oh,
hard to put down as a CV goal.
well, but what's interesting to me is like I knew and I do something different.
That's fascinating
Well, I mean, I do something different on paper,
on paper,
right?
but is it in alignment with what the energy of what you could feel yourself going to
Yes.
be
It's
doing?
always
Yeah,
teaching, right? It's always
yeah.
teaching. But it's
I'm
interesting,
always
like,
in service.
correct. Well, you're still a fairy, I'm pretty sure. Like, we're gonna use that as
Yeah,
your resume header. Like, that's gonna be, can we please put that on your linked bio, LinkedIn bio? Because I can't.
that would be fun.
It
I
would
mean,
be fun.
already pushed a little bit on LinkedIn by saying I'm a mystic. I don't think the
Well, but
algorithm
like,
knows what to do with that.
I don't care if they know what to do with it. It would be so fun though. Like now we're having bad ideas that are fun. See, this is how this goes. Okay,
Yeah.
so here is
So,
part of the reason I we came to this conversation is because you had a post on LinkedIn where you were talking about the difference between multitasking and intuitive prioritization. And those two words have been on a sticky note on my desk since then, which was months ago. This idea of intuitive prioritization, of trusting yourself to know what needs to be done when in what order, or at least that's how it is interpreted in my brain.
yeah,
And the difference between that and like all the other things. So you have to talk to us about that because
sure.
talk, give me the, stop talking, Sarah. Nadine's turn.
Okay. So this is what came for me. So my journey through the corporate world, I used to think multitasking was
The shit.
it was the shit, and it was beyond a superpower
Mm,
to be able to juggle so many things. And in my mind, when I think of multitasking now, I think of that person with the sticks and the spinning plates.
hmm
And it's all mental. It's
hmm
all up here in the intellect, which, there's nothing wrong with the intellect. The intellect, though, needs to be in service to the intuition because
mm,
then you can access far more resources. But this whole multitasking is the balancing and the constant this, then this, then this. And so it's adrenaline rush. It's also a dopamine rush, and you get addicted to it. And women are brilliant at it because we've taken our intuitive skills, and we have adapted them to a predominantly masculine infrastructure. Women are empathetic. Women are inclusive. Women can also see 5 steps ahead. Men by their very nature are whatever's immediately in front of them without thinking about the next 3 steps.
mm,
So multitasking is really all of those things. It's our empathy, our inclusivity, our ability to think of 5 steps ahead, our meta view,
mm.
and it's become multitasking. And at some point, which midlife, our brains go, that's not your natural way of operating. And
Shit.
so it never was. You
Yeah.
adapted, but now I'm going to say menopause, but that brain fog is really, there's a physiological side to it, but there's also a spiritual side to it, which is you were never meant to multitask.
Mm,
It's time to let it go. And the opposite to that is the intuitive prioritization, which to me is like watching a great big bowl of water, and then you've got things floating on it, all of the important things, and there's a gentle current going. And it's this thing floats in front of you, so you pick it up and you take care of it. The next thing floats in front of you, you pick it up and take care of it. And the intuitive prioritization knows which one to pull in next. And so you do it, you do the next task, you do the next thing or whatever's in front of you. And then you can put it down. It might be that you put it back in the water because you know I've done enough with it this time, and it circles off and it will come back. But you don't have to be thinking about it all the time. So suddenly you're in flow with what's the most important thing for you right now. You don't have to overthink it.
Which I love conceptually. And my inner doer is like, is having a little moment. And I can bet
Having a
that
moment?
it is because it's like, well, what if the thing that intuitively comes up isn't the thing I was supposed to be doing? Then what? Like,
Well,
what if
that's the
I,
your inner doer though is trying, that's the intellect wanting to
yeah.
problem solve and be in control and say, but I have a strategy. And the intuition is saying, I love your strategy, but if you listen to me and then become strategic, we'll get things done faster.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Because I can hear my people like banging their heads on their desks, going like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. But it is this idea that like intuition then applied strategically.
It
Yeah.
is. And this is the thing that I always want to be really clear about with people is that the intellect and the intuition are not in competition with each other. They need to
Silly.
be
Of
in
course they are.
they need to
Kidding.
be in they need to be, well, we've been told they're in
Hmm.
competition. We've been told that we are better off if we strategize, if we problem solve. The intellect gets rewarded, but the intuition gets poo-pooed in the it's not brought online. I mean, there's so many scientific studies now that
Yeah.
prove that the information is coming from different frequencies that if we could just tune in
Yeah.
with our intuition, we would in fact know what to do next much sooner. And then we bring the intellect online going, okay, intuition says do X. What's the inspired action is, oh, I'm going to go and get a Substack. And now the intellect is saying, here are all the things we can write about. How do we work out and strategize what that looks like?
Yeah. Well, and it is that I think of this as my friend Stacey Andon always talks to me about how I have capital K knowing,
Hmm.
like the capital
Yeah.
K kind. And it
Yes.
is trusting the capital K knowing first, letting that be the driver of the decision, and then applying that decision actively, right?
Yeah.
Like then driving that decision to where it goes without, being Mario Andretti, right? Like I don't need to drive like a crazy person to get there. In fact, I could like enjoy the drive.
Well, you could do both,
Oh,
you
fair,
know?
fair.
I mean, it depends on what the situation is. I love the capital K knowing. I call that the deep inner guidance,
Mm.
which
Hmm.
because that comes from and a lot of what I'm doing is it's about the embodiment of it. It's
Hmm.
most people aren't comfortable in taking a breath, letting their awareness drop all the way down into their body,
Yeah.
probably all the way down to the pelvic bowl, and just sitting with it and
Hmm.
sitting there just in a little bit of silence to be able to go, what is my deep inner knowing or deep inner guidance? And you'll hear something or sense something. And then that informs the intuition of here
Yeah.
are all the options.
Well, and I think so often, at least in my world, so many of the people I work with, it's not so much um, that they have to wait for that answer to come, it's that they haven't listened to it yet. So it's there, and they just haven't had enough quiet to hear it and then trust it,
Yeah. Or
right?
they've heard, or they're not sure. It's
Mm.
usually not enough quiet. And that's
Hmm.
because the mind, the intellect, has been so loud for so long.
Yep.
And that intellect can also, I think I just recently wrote a post about how it can easily override and convince you that that deeper knowing, that deeper inner guidance, it'll talk you out of it.
Oh my gosh, we've all had those things where you're like, I knew at the start I shouldn't have done it this way, right?
Yeah,
I knew at the start that this was the wrong direction. I knew, and you're like, damn it, I should have listened to myself. Everybody's got those, and you're like,
everybody does it.
here it is.
So then it's so how do I know when to listen?
Mm,
How do I know when to listen? There's a really simple kinesiology exercise to help you sort of start to work out from just a body feeling as
mm,
to whether or not something is coming from the intuition or coming from the, or really just is it coming from the intuition? Is it coming
mm.
from the deeper knowing? And if you want, the
Yeah.
easy exercise is to say in your mind or out loud three truths. So, my name is Nadine. I live in Scotland. I was born in Australia. I know where that sits in my body.
Yep.
I know the feeling of that.
Yep. It just is.
It just is. You go, okay, that sits in my body. But if I said, my name is Keith, I'm American, and I live in Zimbabwe, immediately there's a tightening for me up here.
Yeah, you could
I
feel it. It
know.
like feels
It's like
funny.
that's like ooh, that's no. So if you're looking at where did that information come from? Did it come from the feeling of the truth?
Mm.
Or is it coming from the place of, yeah, it's not?
What's interesting about that is then it's like that transferable feeling that you're like, oh, so when I have a truth, it will feel like that. The
Yeah.
way I think about that all the time, I actually end up talking to people all the time about it with confidence, which is a different kind of knowing, where like, you know, one of the things I realized early in my business was like if you took me tomorrow to a middle school math classroom or a college math classroom and dropped me in the room, I would be like, okay, guys, what are we working on? I would look in the book, I would ask them some questions, and we would do the next thing. Like I have no, like, that just is. Like I'd be fine. I have
Yeah.
no thoughts about it. It would be, we'd laugh a little bit, we'd get some shit done. It'd be fine. And so what I've had to teach myself, I think, to a degree, is I know how to feel that feeling that, like, I've got this feeling of like, I belong, I know what to do, I can carry this. And then it's like, okay, well, I already know how to feel that. How do I feel that as a business owner? How do I work from that feeling versus the like, I don't know, that like intellectual spin that you get when you feel new at something.
Yeah. Yeah. And that to me is also because that's about being in the body.
Mm-hmm.
It's about dropping your awareness out because you know the feeling. You know
Yes.
as you said, it's even though it's confidence, it's actually a grounded embodiment of a
Yes.
skill that you have.
It's like that groundedness. Yes.
It's
Agreed.
it's the groundedness. You can call it confidence. You can call it, well, I've got proof because I've done it. I've had that validated externally, but it's the body feeling.
Hmm.
It's the this is the knowing
Yes,
of
that's right.
something.
Yep.
And when something's new or we're uncertain or we're doing things that haven't perhaps been done before, sometimes that we don't even have other people that we can look to as mentors because they're not doing the things that we're doing.
Yep.
So where do you go? You need to bring it back into yourself. You can't keep looking outwards. So that's a beautiful way of going, oh, it's in the body.
Mm.
It's my knowing, my groundedness is, or my confidence is because if I take a breath and bring my awareness back to myself, where do I anchor in
Yeah.
before I take a step that's really uncertain?
Well, and I think it is that like I can take as an impatient entrepreneur business soul, as an impatient human being, forget business, just generally. Like I
Generally, are we there yet?
Yeah, right. Are we like, what time is it? Can we go? Like, I have had to really work on like, I always have enough time to sit back, take a couple breaths, and decide intentionally, right? There's always time for that because A, like, I literally do have that time. We all do. And
Yep.
B, doing that here saves me 15,000% time on the other side, right? Like, the amount of gain that I get from taking a second, putting my feet on the floor, going like, is this really what I want to decide? What's the clear decision here? Take a couple breaths and then move on is exponentially more useful and effective.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can do that when it comes to the intuition as well. When you
Mm,
feel like am I deciding this because this is the practical thing to do and everybody said these are the steps, this is how you get it done. And there's another part of you that's screaming on the inside that says, no, no, it's walk away,
yes.
do something completely different. I'm going to say, have the grace to give yourself the time to be able to not make it so huge at a decision.
Mm-hmm.
And look, sometimes in my experience, there have been times when I've gone against my intuition because the practicalities of it and my need for security and certainty
One. Yeah.
overrode
Yeah.
the I'm not ready yet to take a leap of faith.
Yep.
And that's okay. And there have
Yep.
been times where my intuition has put me in situations where I'm like, are you serious? Like,
Yes,
really?
where you're
Like,
like,
because
guys, are we okay?
what are we doing here? Because as I will say, intuition isn't always rainbows and unicorns.
No.
Sometimes it's, sorry, Charlie Brown, it's the lump of coal in the sack. And you're like, why?
I
But
do. Yes.
give
I agree.
yourself the breath, and
Yes.
it's okay then to make a decision either way.
Yeah.
It's the act of honoring this inner voice, this inner knowing that builds your self-trust.
Mm-hmm. Well, and actually, it's interesting. You were talking about like, is it practical? Is it right? Like one of the things I always think about is I think of them as the four R's of the apocalypse.
Oh,
Um, Reasonable, responsible, rational, realistic. They are like whenever somebody says to me one of those four R's, they are using past data to make a future decision. And that's not how those work, right? You're using somebody else's opinion to make a future decision. So it's like, okay, well, airplanes weren't responsible right out of the go either. And so it's the like, can I still choose the practical thing? Can I still decide in any direction? Yes. But if I'm deciding because it's reasonable, realistic, responsible, rational, I don't know if I like those decisions. Like that's not how new things happen.
no. And look, that is our frame of reference,
Mm-hmm.
which is why you don't go to the intellect first,
Mm-hmm.
because the intellect is a reference library and it will go, it's like walking into the biggest library in the world and saying to the one sole librarian, I need everything that you have on whatever the thing is that you're working on, and I need it right now. They're going to find the things that come top of mind, top of
Yep.
mind.
Yep.
Whereas if you're listening to the intuition and the intuition suddenly says, oh, inspired action,
Mm.
do this, it then goes to the reference library and it will give you a song title. And you're going, what is with the song title? And you go, oh, remember that song. Why has that song come to mind? Oh, I love that lyric. Oh, that lyric reminds me of,
And
which
then we're
then makes
there.
me think of,
Yep.
you would never have gotten to that gem
Without
of
it.
information to help you
Yes.
build the thing that you're about to build if you'd gone to the intellect first.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That is, but isn't that always the way too, where you're like, why am I singing this? Wait, here's
Yeah.
this. Oh, okay.
Oh,
And then you're like, oh, drat, here we are.
yeah. Or usually because it's because that was in such and such a year. Oh, no, you want me to do that again? Okay.
Yep, right. Where you're, well, and that is the funny. I have a client, a longtime client and friend, where, we'll talk. We were actually on somebody's networking call the other day, and she said something, and we both giggled. And then the people were like, okay, guys, what are you giggling about? And we were like, well, because it all goes back to the T word. And she's like, trust again. Right? Where, because it all circles back there. It all circles back there. It
Yeah.
all circles back there
Yeah.
every time. Okay, so tell
What,
me,
well, before what,
yeah,
just to
yeah.
add on that, because the again, it does come back to trust, but to reframe it for people so it doesn't feel so heavy and
Mm,
burdensome. It's not trust again, it's trust deeper
yes.
because you've already trusted. It's not like you've got to do it again. It's like taking that one deeper step deeper, one breath deeper.
Yeah.
You're not doing it again. You're just doing it a little bit more deeply.
Well, and every time, right? Like the first time you learn to ride a bike is not the same as the second time, is not the same as the third time, is not the same as the fourth time, is not like you're a little better, you're a little faster, you're a little
Yep.
clearer, you're a little like it's all simpler every time. And you are coming back to it, but you're a new, I have a friend that says, well, you'll say, how are you today? And she'll be like, well, today's the first day I've been in this body because today's a new day. And I don't know if it likes me, right? Like every day's a new day. You're a new person every single day. And
It
that's what she
is.
talks about.
And using the bike analogy, it's going to feel different after you've fallen off the bike. The
Hmm.
first time you come back to it after a fall
Yep.
is going to feel, you remember how to do it, but you've now got some resistance and hesitation because you have an experience where maybe trust was broken or you trusted it and it didn't work out. So but it's still a deepening. You're
Yeah.
never going back to starting from square one unless you
Yes.
have full on amnesia. And then you're
Well,
probably going to have complete self trust because you don't know any different.
well, and what I think is interesting about even full-on amnesia, you have full-on amnesia, and sometimes your body still knows what to do.
Yeah.
Right? It'll still, there will be patterns. There will be things that your body just knows. And so it really is like, eh, it's those things, those things people tell you, and then you're like, damn it, I can't unknow that now. Like,
Oh, there's nothing worse than when you can't unring a bell.
you're like,
Like,
no,
why? Or you can't
no.
unsee things.
Well, we don't want to talk about that. That's terrible.
Let's not talk about it because,
Those are like airport moments where you're like, well, now I have that forever.
well, I've
Thanks.
also got moments in the corporate world where that are supposed to be senior level are wearing lycra bicycle shorts.
Oh, fun. No, no. I am sorry. Where you're like, nope,
You
nope, 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 nope. My eyes are
no, no.
closed.
Oh, too late. Now I can't unsee that. That's all I see when I'm working with you.
Oh my God. Okay. So if there is one thing about trust and intuitive prioritization and knowing and deepening that you want people to walk away thinking about, that you want people to sort of stick in their pocket and be like, oh, this is the little bit that I think I'll carry. What is that little bit?
Mm, it's a great question. Everybody has it.
Mm,
You may think you don't, but there it is. You think you don't, but everybody is born with it. And it is an innate, natural part of who we are as souls living in a physical body in this dimension.
mm,
So it's it really is about forming a relationship. It's remembering. and it's returning. It's not about becoming, it's about returning to who you were before all of the things in life happened that made you stop thinking that you had it.
Mm.
It's
And
there.
and allowing it to be there and come out.
Yeah. And being playful with it.
I am playing bingo with people this week. I am fascinated, absolutely fascinated by the things that people are willing to do to check off a bingo square in a game. That they're like, well, normally I wouldn't ask that person for this thing, but today I'm going to do it. You're like, well, you could have, I, it's amazing what happens when we introduce a little bit of play.
A little bit of play, a little bit of accountability because it's
Mm.
actually just somebody else.
Yep.
Imagine if we showed up for ourselves the way we show up for others.
Yes. Well, and as I tell them all the time, they'll be like, well, can I? I'm like, listen, guys, I straight up made up this game. This is a made up game with made up rules. And you just asked me if it was okay if, right? Like, well, do what you want. Like we this is entirely invented out of whole cloth. Like it's just like I don't there's no rules. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. No. Transcend rules. Find
Yeah.
your own path.
Yeah. And I love it when people are like, "Well, I didn't like that square, so I made my own." Like, damn, way to win. Like, I didn't like this one. It didn't feel I had somebody this week send me an email of a picture of her bingo card and the one she crossed out and the one she rewrote in there because she said this one doesn't feel like me. And I was like, ah,
Yes.
exactly. I was like, done.
Yes.
Like, big win. Like, I sent
I mean,
prizes for that sucker.
yeah, she just won.
She really did. And I was like, see, this is why we do this because
Yeah.
you can look at it and be like, that one's not for me. That's fine. Don't let it stop you from making bingo friends.
No.
Like, she was like, but I am
Exactly.
getting this bingo. God damn it.
I'm going to get bingo.
Nadine, tell all the people where they can find you, including on Substack.
Okay, well, Substack hasn't been done. Okay, maybe I don't know when this is going out. So
Okay.
by the time when this goes out, maybe I'll have my Substack up with a an actual first essay up there. But they can find me on my websites,
Okay.
which I think you'll probably post
I
in
will.
the link or with the
I will. And on the
podcast.
LinkedIn.
And I'm on LinkedIn as well. And I will be returning to Instagram soon with talking head videos.
Oh,
Yeah. And I'm
interesting.
available just for conversations, like you said, reach out,
Because she
book
is
book a
like a
book a
delightful
call.
human, like actual have like one of the very best. And you could just listen. I could listen to Nadine all day. And I always feel Nadine comes on a call and I'm always like, oh. There she is. So, like, please, friends, have that interaction because, geez, you're missing out
Yeah.
otherwise.
Oh, thank
I
you.
will make sure that you, in the podcast information, have all the places to find Nadine, including her LinkedIn, where you could send her a message and be like, hi, friend, I want to be friends. That's fine. Or you can go to her and be like, okay, wait. So, I would like to do this intuitive prioritization thing, but I think you're nuts. So, help me do it, right? Like, that's fine. If your intellect is like, that's not a thing, have an actual conversation where it's about doing that work because it really does matter, especially if there's some little bell in your brain ringing and going like, huh, that's a thing, huh? Tell me more about that thing, huh? Because
I was
that's
about
your,
to say, if you're feeling oh, I'd really like to reach out to her, it's like, yeah, this isn't for me. Listen to the first bit.
yep. Like, don't, if your initial reaction is, ooh, allow it to be, my friend, because that's how this is supposed to work. Um, you all, I will see you in 2 weeks. And if you're not in the lab yet, now is a good time, my friends, because this is where all the games continue. Um, but I will see you all soon.